right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to What's in the Actual Mental Health. Here we are.
Still here without an actual intro.
I mean, at this point, we're going to write it to the end.
Shit that's on our plates right now, though.
I'm like, fuck, here's your intro. Boop, boop. There.
Yeah, the intro is, hello, this is the intro.
Hello, we have started the program. Oh, man. Can I just tell you something random that I learned? Because I love random things. I was watching this video and they were talking. Do you remember Reading Rainbow?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Fucking loved it. And you know how just like all of a sudden it was gone? Do you want to know why?
Okay.
This is so sad. And this came from LeVar Burton, Mr. Reading Rainbow himself.
Sure.
So in 2008, they started the No Child Left Behind bullshit. And because of that,
bullshit.
I mean, it's kind of a fucked program, like many. Because I got left behind, nobody cared, but whatever.
Yeah, you sure the fuck did.
Still waiting.
100%.
Still like sitting there.
They were like, nah.
Yeah.
She'll just read in the corner.
But because all the money basically went to putting like teaching kids, like this is how you read, and this is the phonics, and this is the things, and da-da-da-da. It didn't have basically the money or the funding to keep the love of reading in. So they killed LeVar Burton's Reading Rainbow. Because it was like, we don't have time for that. We have to teach them how to read and fuck it if they like it or not. So that's why they killed it. So there's that.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that shitty?
Well, yeah.
It's very sad.
People still love to read.
I do. It's my favorite.
We know. You little fucking weirdo.
I know.
I like to read too, honestly. I'm so tired. You know, like the amount of things that I do in a single day. Like when I talk to people, other than you, when I talk to people and I tell them, okay, well, this is what I got done and this is how I did it, and blah, blah, blah. It is astounding to me how many people are like, when do you sleep?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love to sleep.
Yeah.
I get it done.
It's my favorite.
Yeah. But I really do I listen to podcasts on anytime I'm in the car, I'm listening to a podcast or an educational something, certification or whatever. Like I'm doing the things all the time.
Yeah. 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 I don't know. People, I've had people ask me that, like, what else do you not do? Math. That's it. Math.
Yeah,
and spelling. I don't do those two, but everything else I'm going to get it done.
Spelling.
But I love to read because that's really the only time when I force myself to just slow down for a second. And I'll put my back into it. But I can usually read a book in a weekend if you give me enough space. It's my favorite thing. I fucking love it. Anyway, and that's what we're going to talk about today. As I read a book.
Oh my God. You read a book.
So good. Okay. And it's interesting is I had heard about this doctor many, many moons ago, but I didn't.
How the fuck old are you? Many, many moons ago.
I'm old as balls. In my soul, I served in the Civil War.
She said many, many moons ago.
I'm like a Galapagos turtle. Getting fucking 165 in my ass. Fuck. I'm never going to die. I mean, I already tried once and it didn't work.
I'm 165 years old in my ass.
In my ass. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe older in other parts, but for sure in my ass. Oof. 165. Maybe 7.
Well, now we know.
Yeah. So I had heard about this doctor that cured basically an entire mental ward in a hospital without ever meeting with a single client. I had heard about it. I had kind of heard about the technique, and then life went on and I never really thought about it again. So then I was reading a different book, not that book, a different book.
What?
Yeah. And the lady was talking about, she was a teacher, and this lady that wrote this book, it was a fiction book, but it had some real shit in it that she had actually experienced when she was living in Hawaii. She was a special education teacher. And apparently their school system is very fucking similar to ours, as in super fucked. Because I guess in Hawaii, their school board is the school board for all the islands. It's just one board for everything. So it's not like a school board like we have here for Albuquerque and one for Rio Rancho and one. No, it is one school board for all the islands. So it's real messy and it's messy. It sounds pretty bad. It sounds a little bit worse than ours, honestly. And I think if you look, their ranking is pretty low compared to ours as well. But anyway, so she had talked about this technique also in her book. And I was like, I'm going to look this up. So I looked it up. I'm going to say it wrong probably, and all the people who know what it is are going to cringe, but I'm going to try. Ho'oponopona. So fun to say.
Ho'oponopona.
Ho'oponopona. out of practice 700 times. And
You're on the way here, like,
I was like, ho, ho, pona, pona, ho, ho, pona, pona. I don't fucking know.
no, you absolutely were that.
Yeah, it really was. And so when I was reading about it, it talked about, like, you know, you go down the rabbit hole of books, and it was like, oh, this doctor, and he has a very long name, and I'm not even going to try and fuck with it because it is a Hawaiian name. I will definitely butcher it. And typically he goes by Dr. E, like the letter E. I'm not entirely sure why, because his name starts with an I, but I don't live there. I don't know the things. I'm not even sure if he's still alive to this day. I'd have to look because I didn't look that part up. But he has, and it's a technique that's been around apparently in Hawaii. And there's a woman who was like the shaman of it and then taught it to him, and he has like taken it and taught it. And there were parts of the book where they were like, we can't talk about it for confidentiality. Like, you'd have to take the course. So guess what I'm looking for? Yeah, because I'm excited. But here's what's super interesting is that he worked for a mental hospital in Hawaii. And like when he very first started there, you know, it was super depressing. They couldn't get anybody to stay working there. Like the psychiatrist dropped like flies constantly. And, you know, like he would say, like, even when you would try to like paint the walls, like the paint would fall off. Like nothing wanted to stay there.
Oh, dang.
I know. And so he started this, you know, doing this thing that he had learned. And he never met with a single client, ever. Not one time. He would see them in passing. He would read their files. And then he would practice the ho'oponopono. And he like cured this entire mental ward. It's not even there anymore. It's like gone. Yeah. And it was crazy because the guy that wrote the book that I read, Zero Limits, I think was the name of the actual book. He interviewed a couple people that worked with Dr. E, and they said the same thing. They were like, there's no fucking way. Like this fucking hippy dippy bullshit. He comes in and boom. And they're like, wait, what? And they said it was like magical. So the way that it works, okay, is, and it's so funny because I've been doing it and I'm like, and I like mess something up, is that what it is that when he would, when he would read their files, he would say basically like to the divine, and that's what he calls it. So you can call it whatever you want, but he calls it the divine, that like, what is it in me? Because now this is a me problem. So everything in the world is a you problem. And you're the only one that can fix it. You're the only one that can clean it. So he calls it cleaning. And the way that you do this is you think about the problem and you say, I'm sorry, forgive me, I love you, and thank you. So he would look at these people's files and he would say, like, what is it in me that is now bringing this about? And then he would clean. And it would clean these people, and then they went about their lives. And it like made the world better. And he said, like, if everybody could sit down and like, if somebody comes to you and they tell you a story about someone else, you now have to clean that because now that's a part of you. And now that's your story. And now it's your responsibility. Yeah. So the other day I was thinking about somebody who pissed me the fuck off. And I was like, hey, I gotta clean. So I was like, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And you have to do it like over and over because it's real hard. Real hard. But if you do it and you like do it, you can manifest better. You can, you know, the world will come to you in a better, cleaner way. And we could all make things better because everything is fixable within us. And it's interesting when you really think about even like modern day therapy, they spend hours upon hours of like, who hurt you? And, you know, how do you work on that? And you forgive them, but like, you still are never taking accountability that that's still a piece of you. There's still something about you that is responsible. And so now you have to like take a look at it and be like, okay, I'm going to give it to the divine. And I'm going to say, I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. And thank you. So yeah, so that's how he cured an entire mental hospital. I like them apples. You hate those apples.
I thought there was going to be more to it.
I know. So did I, which is what's even cooler about it. Because there's not a whole lot. It's just like you got to take accountability and you got to fix all the things.
I feel like that is a very codependent behavior. I mean, everything's your fault. Everything's
Well, it's not that it's your fault. It's just, it's your responsibility to handle it, heal it, and give it to the divine. So you're just like, okay, like something about this is now mine. And now it's my responsibility to clean it and give it to the divine.
uh-huh.
So, I mean, it is. It's like, okay, you know, like the incident that we had not too long ago with somebody who was not good, right? And if you think about it, it's like something in me brought that out in that person, right? Something about me made that person uncomfortable, or something about that person, you know, something about me made it a teaching lesson for me to look at that and say, I can be pissed at this person, I can dislike this person, or I can say, something about me brought this out, and now it's my responsibility to clean it. And I clean it, and I give it to the divine. And boop. I mean, if it can cure an entire mental hospital.
Yeah, but I think you have to be really pure in your intentions.
You do, which is why he said, like, there are times where you will have to clean the same thing over and over and over. And it will be hard. And he said, like, it will be hard, especially in people. But and it was funny because one of the things that, like, his biggest thing was they were getting ready to do, like, this dinner. And the guy that's writing the book with him was like, okay, like, should you start or should I start? You know, which way should we go? And he's like, I don't know, don't plan. Just let it be. And I was like, ah! I was like, ooh, I don't know about that, Dr. E. Now you're pushing it. Like, I'm going to get my shit to the fucking divine, but that's where I draw the line.
Yes, that's how you should say it.
Yeah. And he said he was like very much like he had to, you know, he had to say like, okay, I'm not going to plan anything. And he said it went very well. But he very much had to lean into like, just let it be. Just figure it out as you go. And I was like, oof, that one's rough. You know, which it's interesting because like if you think about Hawaii, you know, and how laid back they are and just like whatever, you know, like just usually they're very, like it's even more the land of manana than we are, you know, it's just like it'll be what it'll be. And so, I mean, it does, you know, and I would be curious. I don't know enough. I would have to research more about Dr. E of like, has he spent his whole life in Hawaii? Because is that as easy there as it would be here? You know, like, where would it be harder? Where would it be easier? Because, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of shit when I was in Hawaii that felt real fucking easy compared to here where you're like, oh, it's such a struggle.
Yeah, like getting out of bed.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And then to be able to just say, whatever this is, it's now my responsibility to clean it and give it to the divine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I don't know. It kind of feels good, though. Like, if you do it, it's kind of cool. I mean, I'm not perfect at it. I have fucked it up many times. But it's also like, especially like, because I can be real judgmental and I'll be the first. Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can be. I mean, also, I'm right a lot of the time. So there's that, and that just filters that. But there are times where I'll look at somebody, I'm like, and then I'm like, oh, that was just judgment. That wasn't a feeling. That was just judgment. Yes. And so then I'll do the cleansing, you know, and I'm like, I love you. Sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And you do kind of feel like you're like, okay, at least you're trying. Like there's some acknowledgement that goes with it, you know? And it is me. Like that is my shit, right? Like that's not somebody else's responsibility. It's mine. And it puts it back on me. No.
No, I hear what you're saying. I just think that what the scenario that you just described is not the same as healing somebody's mental health condition.
Well, and it's like, it's just, you're putting out there like the good of the world and like just giving them like the good of the world and the divine to like help them cleanse their soul too. Like if we all, like think about it. If you realistically, if all of us put out nothing but good, you don't think that that would have some sort of effect?
Oh, 100%. But it would be, it'd have to be all of us.
Well, apparently only had to be one guy.
In Hawaii.
He did it. Because I mean, you've seen that guy that talked to water, and he like did the experiment where he like yelled at it, and then one he was really nice to it, and one he was like ignored it or whatever, and it changed the shape of the water after he froze it like drastically. And they've done it with rice too, and like the rice that was ignored was like the most like molded, and it was the most fucked up compared to all the other ones, even the one that was talked to badly. Yeah. So that's why, like, I think that's for me, like, even if it is ho'oponopono bullshit, I don't know. But I think it definitely goes to talk about and show like how powerful words are, and people don't realize like how powerful words are. You know?
Yes. I mean, I guess.
You're the worst.
That's a tough pill to swallow. I really thought that there was going to be more to this when you pitched it to me.
No.
And you're like, "So we're going to talk about."
It's easy.
I'm like, this is,
and that's why you don't like it.
Dumb.
You don't
Well,
like
it's
it.
not easy. That's really fucking hard.
No, it is.
To
Trust
love
me.
people that you don't love.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing: is that he said he's like, you don't have to even be like saying like necessarily I love you to them. It can be like I'm giving this to the divine, and then the divine can give it to them. Right? Because sometimes it is hard, right? Because there are people like, because somebody even brought up, like, if I was a rape victim, you're telling me that it is my responsibility to then give that back to the person who raped me. And he was like, no, you can give that to the divine and say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, because it also comes back to you, right? And the forgiveness you're giving yourself, because you think about, like, especially in situations like that, like how much self-attacking do people do, right? So if you're saying, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and you're giving it to the divine to give to them and to give to you, at the end of the day, you get that back. You know?
Yep.
Yeah, you're going to do it, and you're going to love it, and then you're going to be like, oh my God, this is magical.
What I'm going to do is look up this course.
I know, I'll send it to you, because it's going to be here, and you can come with me.
Oh.
Yeah. Cat's going to ho-o-pona-pona
It's a
with me.
course you said here?
Yeah, they're going to do one here in July or August. Yeah, I know. We have nothing else going on in July or August. It's like it's like a day. It's like one fucking day at a hotel. We're just going to here in Albuquerque. We're going to show up and ho-o-pona-pona.
Ho-o-pona-pona.
Yeah.
I'm just going to Google it and just see what comes up, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, you can. I can send it to you. I have it on my phone.
Oh. Pona.
But yeah. And you're going to be like, God damn it, this is magical.
There it is. Yep.
Because you think about, too, even like being able to say, I love you to somebody that's hurt you, like a family member or something like that, to be able to say, I love you and not hold that anger anymore, because the only person that's killing is you. You know? I mean, I know it's not easy, but neither is healing. So that's why it's not easy, or else everybody would fucking do it. So, you're welcome. That's what I'm saying. And you're going to go with me. And you're going to fucking love it. And you're going to learn some things.
What is this, a Ho'oponopono, like conference or something? Or
Yeah,
class?
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I'll send it to you. I have it. It's on my phone, which is over there. So I can't give it to you right this second.
It says it's pronounced Ho'oponopono.
Pono.
Ponopono.
Pono.
Ponopono.
Pono. I was close. Closer than I actually thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So there's that.
It's true.
Yeah.
It says, what does it mean? It means reconciliation and forgiveness.
Yeah. To make right is like the actual meat of it. So see?
Interesting. It's like there's a meditation that you can do with it.
Yep. Yeah.
It's a traditional Hawaiian practice of reconciliation and forgiveness.
It was funny because I had actually seen it too. There's a show on HBO called The Pit, and it's like Noah Wiley, who was in ER. Do you remember him? So he's in this and looks almost the same, just a little bit older. And it's really good. He's in the ER, and it's The Pit. And it's funny because he talked about it with this one family on the show. He doesn't say it exactly the same way. Like, he says it a little different. I'm like, I don't think that's right, but close enough. So, I mean, I'm not like the fucking expert, but I was like, that's what it said in the book. But I was like, oh, how weird that it's come up like a couple of different times. But yeah, there's like a whole thing about him curing this whole entire mental ward. And and it's funny too, because there was a part in the book where the guy that wrote the book does like some sort of bodybuilding or something, and he had been heavy at one point in his life. And Dr. E is like, oh, I'm hungry. And he's like, God, the only thing that's going to be open right now is like a hamburger place. And Dr. E's like, yes, let's go. And so they go, and the guy's like, I'm going to take like this, shaman to like this fucking hole-in-the-wall hamburger place. And they get there, and he orders like a double meat, double cheese on white bread. And the guy's like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what to do with this. So he's like, fuck it, I'll do the same. And he tells him like, man, aren't you worried about like what this is going to do? And he's like, no, He's like, I blessed it. I talked to it. I told it thank you. And it's going to do what it needs to do for my body, and it's not going to hurt me. And he just goes about his life like that. Yeah. He's probably still alive. I'll have to look it up. I'm just saying, you're going to go with me and you're going to fucking love it. Because now I'm going to make sure you go. And then we're going to come back on and tell everybody how much you enjoyed it. Yeah, because it's going to be a group, and they're probably going to make you talk about some of your own shit.
Oh, I don't want to go.
I'll be like, this one right here wants to volunteer for sure.
Nope, I don't think I'm doing it.
That's why you should do it. Because look how uncomfortable it's making you.
I don't want to.
What would be so bad? Because you'd be healed?
I don't know if I'd be healed.
Maybe feel better?
Make me more angry. No, I mean, whatever. We could try it.
I love how uncomfortable. Yeah.
It's gross.
I mean, if I can do it, come on.
Okay.
And I'm like one of the least forgiving motherfuckers on
That's
the planet.
very true.
You know?
I'm very forgiving.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm like, burn that bitch.
I know.
Yeah, there's a list of people who are dead to me.
That's why you lost your colon.
It's 100% why that bitch Colleen is gone.
Choline. I see what you did there.
Yeah, that's her name.
So interesting. Okay, so this is like, I don't know. I guess it's kind of in the same like family of like, I don't know, like curing, but like supporting or addressing mental health issues in like a non-pharmacologic way.
Exactly.
So obviously, I mean, I guess you could see the correlation where like obviously if you have trauma and you like are struggling to forgive and all that stuff, it like buries deep in your body and then it manifests in gross different ways. You lose your colon,
right?
You have fibro, whatever it is, right?
All the things.
All things.
Yeah.
So similarly, 70% of your immune system is in your gut.
Right.
And your the skin or the cells that are like inside your intestine and your colon and all that, it's all one continuous piece. So like it starts on your cheeks, it goes all the way in, it's all the same, comes out on your thighs. So like whatever, that's why when you have gut issues, oftentimes it spits up on your skin, psoriasis, eczema, that kind of stuff. But you can really like heal your gut and a lot of like mental health conditions just by like nourishing and actually like taking care of your gut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you can heal the leaky gut, the bloating, all that stuff. But without traditional like medication for bipolar, anxiety, depression, whatever.
Yeah.
Am I saying that like for bipolar, schizophrenic, that kind of thing, should you not ever be on medication? No. And obviously you should be evaluated by your provider, your psychiatrist, whatever. But there are hundreds of thousands of cases of people that are diagnosed even with like autism and stuff that when you clean up your diet and you
it changes things drastically.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting is that when I went into the hospital to have my colon removed, you know, they do your lab work like right before surgery and then they do your lab work right after. And the lab work from when I got there to when they took the colon out was drastically different. I mean, like everything that had been sick in my body was like, boop, gone. But here's what's really crazy is that when I got home, the fungus that was what gave me the septic shock from a fucking medication, which is Humira. Fucking
so
me.
weird.
Yeah. It came out of my skin in like at like different times and different places. So like it started like on my shin. I had this weird rash and then it finally went away. And then like my fingernails, all of them looked like I had slammed my hand in a door. Like they all had this like dried like blood underneath my fingernails that slowly grew out. And when it grew out, it was like dried blood. And then it moved up to the corner of my mouth. And the only way I could get rid of it was using like athlete's foot cream. And then it moved to my scalp and I had to see a dermatologist. And once it was done there, it never came back anywhere. But it literally like pulled itself like all the way out of my body. So like whatever was still in there was still like had to get itself out and then it never came back. It was the weirdest shit. And I have pictures of like my fingernails and my leg because it was super weird. And I was like, what is this? And then it would go away and then it would show up somewhere else. Yeah. And so that's why when people, I'm like, you don't understand like how connected everything is, right? Like clearly that fungus was still in there and it still had to find its way out. And fuck if it didn't, you know, and at every little like crevice it came out. But it's really interesting. And that's why, like I was saying, like you don't, and even after I had my surgery, like right away, like I named my stoma, I joked about it, I like made it like light and funny. And I remember, the one day you get a nurse who comes and teaches you about a stoma, you get one day, and it's not even a day, you get like an hour with a stoma nurse.
It's just like breastfeeding.
Yeah, and they're like, here you go. Yeah, here's some shit, and hopefully it fucking works out for you. And I was like introducing her to Steve, my stoma. I was like, this is Steve, and he's very fabulous. He was very pink, very pretty. And I remember her like kind of looking at me like I was, like she didn't, not that I was crazy, but she was just, and she said, she was like, I've never seen anybody make this so funny or make this like light. And I was like, well, that's what you have to do or else you're going to die. And she was like, no, that makes sense. Because she's like, most people that are in here, they're angry, right? Because most people who end up with a stoma, it's usually because of cancer, right? It's like the typical reason that you end up losing your colon. And mind you, I had 2 years to prepare myself for what may have been the inevitable, which was to lose it. Because they wanted to take it pretty much from the beginning. And I was like, nope, I'm going to fight this fight. Dumb. Here we were 2 years later at the same fucking spot, but I'm stubborn and that's where we went. Oh. So I had time to kind of get myself prepared.
You're giving us a lot of information that none of us know.
Yeah. Well, if you ever have to lose your colon, here's what you're going to get.
But I mean, you're stubborn.
Yeah, that's going to come as a news flash, like right on top. Like, what?
You're like, this just in.
Rebecca is judgmental and stubborn. Stop it. Yeah, bag of dicks.
Brand new information.
But yeah, so it just very much, but it did change. I healed very quickly. I got out of the hospital very fast. I was just like, okay, this is what we're doing, and I got the fuck out of here, and I don't want to be in the hospital. But I think that was probably the first time I really understood how much your mindset and your words can make such a huge difference, And I think even when we put our own negative shit out into the world, like it travels. So it's like a vibration, right? And so if he's sitting there and he's putting out good, and maybe even just his good vibration transferred to the people that worked there, and then they treated those clients differently, and maybe that's what it was, right? I mean, who knows? I don't know. I wasn't there to watch it, but you think about it, like when you're around somebody who's negative, it fucking sucks the life out of you. And you're like, I have to get out of here because it's toxic, and those are the ones that get sick, and those are the ones that lose their colon. Just kidding. I wasn't that much of an asshole, but I just think that for me, like, I think that's why, like, reading it, I was like, no, this makes sense to me about having your own ownership of, like, all right, it's in my world, and now I got to fucking clean it up. Mm-hmm. And I think especially because right now, I feel like we're in such a society of, like, this is someone else's fault. You've offended me. This is on you. You hurt my feelings. And it's like, yeah, but maybe you could just fucking, buck up. Christ. Like, I don't know that you need to be that much of a softie.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely in the victim mentality era where like everybody's out to get me. Everybody's like, it's so offensive. You don't accept me for who I am in whatever capacity that might be, whether that's color or gender or age or, ethnicity or whatever. Like we're just constantly looking for the negative outcome. And it's actually interesting that we bring this up because, somebody and I were speaking about a particular relationship that they have with a family member. Mm-hmm. And the person that I was talking to was like, man, every time I'm around them, or I have a conversation with them, like an extended conversation, I just like, I'm on edge, essentially like waiting for them to trigger them. Mm. The person's like, I can't believe how uncomfortable I am on the phone with this person or just being around them because it's just like, I'm just essentially like waiting for the other shoe to drop kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you have a lot of trauma and resentment toward this person and it makes sense. But like, and they were like, well, maybe I could like, what did they say? I could work through it. Or I think they were like, oh, maybe Rebecca and I could do like an EMDR or like a ketamine session and I could just like get rid of it. And I'm like, I don't think that's how that works.
Right. Okay.
If so, we would be millionaires.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We'd have this magic wand. Ting, ting,
yeah.
ting,
like,
ting,
oh,
ting.
just let it go. And they're like,
yeah. They're like, I am great. Yeah. I'd be like the Pentecostals. Mm-hmm. Boom.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And I was like, I don't think that's how that works. But like, it's almost, so on the phone, they were on the phone with the person. And then they were like, I was like, well, did this person say, like, were you triggered? And he's like, I mean, not directly, but this and this and this. And I'm like, I mean, do you think you're like looking for triggers or you're like looking for a reason? Like you're essentially setting them up to fail.
Right.
As opposed to just, that's just who they are.
Right. So now they fit your narrative.
It's never going to be different. They've been this way X amount of years, basically your entire like life, your entire relationship, knowing this person. This is who they are at their core. But like, you don't have to let that offend you anymore because you're an adult and you're no longer dependent on X, Y, and Z. You don't have to fit that narrative.
Right.
So like, what if it's just like okay, so what?
Right.
And like,
It was like, boom.
they were like, and I'm like, I feel like that was really smart, but I don't.
You're like, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
like totally frozen. Like was like,
What do I do with that?
yeah, what do I do with this here? And I was like, I mean, are they still going to be triggering? Are they still going to be super negative? Are they ever going to have like fantastic things to say? I don't know. But it doesn't have to like dictate your life anymore. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll see how that works moving forward.
Well, and I think that's part of it too. Like you said, like you create a narrative for somebody. And in a way, it like gives you the opportunity to be like, see, I knew you were going to do that. And it's like, well, yeah, you knew they were going to do it. So why the fuck are you shocked?
Right.
And sometimes like knowing exactly what somebody's going to do and how they are can be an advantage, right? Because it's like, all right, I know I'm going into battle and this is exactly what it's going to look like. And I don't have to really be shocked. And I can also decide how much of this do I want to partake in.
Right.
Right. And you constantly are going to ask people to meet you where you are. Why the fuck can't you do the same? Right. And just because somebody's selling tickets to the circus, you don't have to buy the fucking ticket. You can just say the circus is there. I don't have to buy the ticket. It is what it is. And just leave it the fuck alone. Right. And then you give it to the divine and you say, I love you and thank you.
And you heal your gut.
Yeah. And you heal your gut because that's where you hold all your shit. Yeah. Well, and especially you think about women too, because right, like our hips is like our where we hide like all of our junk, right? And like what's right here, it's your gut and your hips, and that's where all your yucky stuff goes.
Yep.
And then you wonder why, like you're sick to your stomach and you have endometriosis and all the things that are in this area right here. But it's like, what would it look like if you healed it and you gave it away and said, I don't have to. And I think that's part of it too, like with the thing I was talking about. It's like there's a piece of it where you're like, okay, I'm responsible to clean this. And then that's it. And then it's done. And I'm giving it and it's gone. And I don't have to fuck with this, right? And it's like, I'm going to go into this situation. I know this person is exactly A to B. And I'm going to go into it. And while they're talking, I'm going to clean. Do your little thing. And then just let it go. Because now it's your responsibility to just clean it and be done with it. You know? It's kind of nice.
How's that working out for you?
Better than I thought, I'm not going to lie. There's been a couple of times I was like, nah, I'm going to burn that bitch to the ground. But that's just
a couple of times? You mean in the last hour?
There's one person in particular that I'm like, oh, I hate this person right now. But it's just because it's so fresh, you know, and it's going to take a minute. I mean, I've been practicing, I've been trying, but it's hard. You know, forgiveness is not my jam. It's not the easiest thing. That one takes me a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. But for other people who have hurt me in the past, I've been doing it. And I feel like it has made a difference. Like I've done it a couple of times with my dad. And I think like in a way it's kind of made it more, I don't know, almost made it more like, that's just who he is. You know, like he's not trying to be a dick. Like it's just who he is. And again, like I can take him for what he is and adjust, you know, my responsibility in that situation and let the rest go. And it doesn't have to. And I think that's part of it. It's like not everything's personal. And that's the other part of that, like where we walk into everything thinking it's like this personal attack. And it's like, if you take yourself out of that personal attack, what if that scenario changes?
Right.
You know?
Right. Which is the thing that I'm like, you're essentially just like setting them up to fail. And in turn, like, oh, they know that's going to get to me. Oh, they know that's going to trigger me. Right. And I'm like, I don't think that you matter as much as you think you do.
No, people don't think enough about themselves, let alone you.
Right.
You know, like people are barely keeping themselves alive, let alone what the fuck anybody else is doing. And I think that's the other side of it too, is that what we see with people, even the people we love, is such a fraction of what may really be going on, right? Unless you live with that person and you spend a significant amount of time, there's so many other things that could be going on that you don't know about. And now you've made it a personal thing about you when it may not have anything to do with that.
Right.
But I think there's also too, it's like I talk about this a lot, like with intergenerational trauma. It's like part of what makes intergenerational trauma difficult is that you have to go back eons and eons ago, right? And there are going to be times where people took your land, people raped your people. Like there are horrible things that have happened. And I would never say that that's deserved or whatever it is, right? It's shit and it sucks. But where do you start to say, but that's then and this is now? Because if you continue to live that and you continue to say, those people 600 years ago did that to these people, so I'm going to forever hate those people, you have now continued to leave yourself being the victim forever. And if you are going to be the victim forever, you are never going to get away from that intergenerational trauma, and you are never going to break that for the generations to come, right? Because you can't live like a victim and expect all the great things to happen. That's not how it works. You can't. You have to heal your shit. And that means you have to heal your past shit. Doesn't mean you have to like it. Doesn't mean you have to accept it. But it does mean that there has to be some space of like, I forgive that happened. I don't love it, but I don't want to carry it anymore. Because otherwise you just have to accept that it's going to keep happening. You know? Which is hard.
I have a person that I had a similar conversation with. Something happened almost 2 decades ago, and they're still like in it. And I'm like, you don't have to be the victim anymore. Like something happened that triggered this person to feel like this. And I always, you know, for the people that I love and care about, I'm like, what role do you want me to play? Are we like, slash the fucking tires, I hate this person?
Right. Do we need shovels?
Right. Or do you want me to like give you some advice or
some referrals?
Yeah, some referrals.
What is it you need?
Right. Yeah. Or like, can I like offer some wisdom?
Wise. Yes.
Yeah. And so they were like, no, I'm interested to, you know, to hear what you have to say. And I was like, okay, stop being a fucking victim. I was like, you have to cut your shit. Like it's been so long.
Right.
Like that was such a significant thing for you then. But because of the person that it did it, it's not significant to them. They don't give a fuck anymore.
No, they have moved on. They're not even thinking about it.
Right. Like ever.
Zero fucks.
And you bring it up frequently. Like get the fuck over it.
Right.
And like, yeah, it's really hard and it's a lot easier said than done. But you are there's so much freedom in like, yes, that happened. Now what?
Right. Yeah.
Like
build a bridge.
Right. And get over it.
And if you want, you can light that bridge on fire.
Yeah. And I mean, it is a person that has to be in this other person's life. There's just a lot of intermingling,
interweaving.
Yeah, it's very enmeshed, but that's not who you are now. That was like fucking 20 years ago, you know, almost 2 decades ago. Like, let it go.
Yeah.
You're not that person. You're not that broken human anymore.
Right.
You've grown. You're the healthiest mentally, physically, emotionally you've ever been. But like, you're still holding on to that. And you don't, that doesn't have to be you anymore.
Right.
You know, you don't have to like live in it.
Right. And guess where it's living? In your fucking gut.
Right. Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, there's just like, it's so interesting. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and like doing a lot of training on like gut health and healing your gut. And like, cause I just feel like I'm there and I'm still like learning and like moving through this, but yes, there's Western medicine and there's, you know, there's a time and a place for it. But like you said, like we're so undereducated in the rest of our body and how it all like talks to each other.
Yeah.
You know, like if you can sleep and you can get your gut in like good condition, everything else follows.
Right.
But I mean, America for sure sets us up to fail. I mean, you just think about
ton of money and failing.
Well, and even just like the sugar addiction.
Right. Yeah. Well, you have like pharmaceutical companies who have, you know, stock in pharmaceutical and Coca-Cola. Like, I'm gonna get you either way. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking get you either direction.
Get you both ways.
Matter. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're gonna drink all of my Coke.
Exactly. And then you're gonna be sick as
meds.
fuck. Yeah. So I'm gonna get you on both ends. Yeah. Which is why that's so shitty, you know, and that's why but it also makes people sheep. And sheep are easy to, you know, herd and get them to do the things. And that's why you have to ask the questions and be like, I don't think this is, you know, think this is a good idea. Well, and I think that's why a lot of times when people are very quick to be like, oh, you should medicate, especially in kids. I'm like, let's pump the brakes for 5 seconds here. Like, at some point, maybe, but we're talking about a kid, like up until you're in your 20s, your frontal lobe is not even done.
What the fuck are you medicating?
Right. Like you don't know shit about shit. You know what I mean? Like you are just living your life trying to figure things out. And like you're going and you put kids in front of screens all the time. Yeah, of course they're going to be hyperactive as fuck. And then you feed them shitty food in the schools. You feed them shitty food at home. They don't have any fucking exercise. Like, I don't know what you think is going on in their brain. And then you're like, let me make you a zombie because it'll make it easier for the schools and for the parents. Well, fuck that shit. It should be hard. Being a kid should be uncomfortable because that's how you grow, right? And I think I told you about that book that I read called Anti-Fragile. And he talked about how treating children like they're fragile is what's fucking them up. And that they had created like this biodome in Arizona, and like it was like this perfect thing, and like everything was going to grow in there, and eventually people were going to live in there, and the trees kept falling over, and they were like, what the fuck? Like, this is the most perfect place on the planet. What is wrong with these trees? There was no wind. So because there was no wind, the trees weren't strong enough to hold themselves up. And kids are exactly like that. Right? And so it's like, if you don't let them fall, if you don't let them like figure things out, then, and if you just medicate them, you're just creating little zombies, right? And you think that medication also isn't going to have ramifications like on the way they sleep and on their stomach and all of the things that, where does that medication land? In your motherfucking gut. Trust your gut, bitches.
My husband, so we recently had my oldest daughter tested for ADHD, and she came back like severe high anxiety. And she's young and she's 5, and anybody who's known her for longer than 13 seconds knows she's high anxiety. She's been like that since she was born.
Yeah.
But anyway, we did the assessment, and the psychologist, excuse me, was like, yeah, I don't really see, early or the traditional signs of ADHD. I see a lot of anxiety. I recommend therapy. And then she's like, well, like way down the road, but like maybe like if we need to, we can do medication. And I was like, oh, we're not coming back here. You don't have to say that. Like, even if that is way down the road, why say it on the first visit?
Right.
We just fucking met.
Right.
You didn't ask dick about what she eats,
right?
How she sleeps,
how much outside time she has.
You didn't ask any of that. You were just like, oh, here's some fucking blocks with some shapes on it, and she picked out the kitty and the dog and she matched them because they're animals. Maybe we should medicate your kid. And I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, thanks for that information.
Yeah, you're like, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, absolutely not. And I mean, gratefully her dad and my husband, we're all like, absolutely not. But my husband told me, when I told him, I was fucking furious that we even like went there because, again, I'm not against medication when all else has failed. Right. But don't say way down the road, we could try medication. And again, you don't even know what the fuck, you don't know jack shit about her.
You haven't done like any type of like
nowhere in anything
of like what's going on outside of just these little activities.
Nope. Didn't ask, again, not about her sleep habits, her food, her activity, nothing. She asked nothing. She's like, oh, we could do meds. And I'm like, I fucking can't with America.
They did that with O too.
Yeah, but like, my husband's like, well, they put me on Ritalin when he was like 6.
Yeah.
And he was like, it absolutely changed me.
Yeah, and like, not in a good way.
No. He's like, it fucked with his brain chemistry, and how could it not?
Right.
Your brain is still forming like every single day at that point.
Right. Yeah. Well, and like
they're like, let's just misfire everything.
Right, like let's just go ahead and just like throw like toxins in that and see what happens. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is that like I always say this is like our ADHD humans were back in the day our hunters and gatherers. They were the people that invented things. They were the thinkers. They were the ones that like got their hands dirty and like got all the things put together. You can't put that kind of a person in a regular school and not expect there to be a shit ton of problems and then add to it bad diet, no exercise, and shitty sleep. Like there's no way, like that is not the way it was. And if you would just take those kind of people and let them be the hunters and the gatherers and the creators and all the things, they'll be perfectly fucking fine. And we would be better off because of that. But also, back the fuck up. We don't even have frontal lobes yet. Shit. And you know, and it's crazy because like what, every 3 years, the development of the frontal lobe gets later and later. Like now it's like 26 for boys. And I'm like, damn, you're going to be like 47 and men will be finally getting that frontal lobe.
That's
and it's
a
like,
real thing.
Wow. It's like later and later. Cause it was like back in the day, it was like, 16. And then they were like, well, in boys, it's like 18. And then it's like 21. Now it's like 24. And I'm like, wow, you guys are never going to get one.
No.
They're like on his deathbed. Frontal lobe done. Ding.
Yeah. And
like an easy bake oven.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Like, so my husband got the girls little personal trampolines to jump on. They call them their jumpolines.
Oh.
And so when Alana,
that's what they called them before your mom got on there. Just kidding. Not really to your mom. I'm just saying a joke.
You're so stupid. Hate your fucking face. But yes, very true.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So we put them up in our living room, which is great because it definitely doesn't like clutter our living room at all. It's really good.
It's really working out.
It's great for those of us
with
that
the
are
puppy.
Like, yeah, no, she also sucks. But yeah, Alana has the wiggles bad, dude. Like if she's like, we're like, okay, baby, let's cuddle. And she's like, okay.
You're like, okay, get off me.
Yeah, and I'm like, Alana, I swear to fuck, if you do not stop, I'm gonna need you. I'm like, baby, if you have the wiggles, I get it, but you got to wiggle over there because I'm gonna lose my fucking shit.
Yes.
And she just is that girl.
Yeah.
Mike's the same way. Yeah. He always is twitching
like
a foot or something.
Or his foot like this. Yeah.
And I'm like, if you don't stop,
as I'm doing it right now. Yeah. But it's different.
We're
when
not
it's your
touching.
Own. Yeah,
you're not touching me, and you're not shaking my fucking couch. No. Alana's like. And she's like, oh, is this the best cuddle? And I'm like, oh my God, we're on a shaking plate. Like, get the fuck away. Yeah. And I'm like, baby, you need to go jump on your jumpoline. Fucking 30 minutes. It's like, that's like the best purchase Santa ever bought.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, thank you, Santa.
Yeah. We have a treadmill. And just gets on there and watches cartoons. And I'm like, just walk it and watch cartoons. Same thing. Like, he just needs that movement. Just movement. Well, and trampolines are really, really good, even for your limbic system, too. So that's like a really great thing for them to have.
Yeah. Well, Lila's my lazy little girl.
She just lays on it.
Yeah. Yes. She does. She brings a pillow and she fucking lays down. I'm like, that's not what that's about.
I mean, it's comfortable.
Yeah. She's like, I don't want to stand. My legs are broken. I'm gonna break your fucking legs and show you
just
what
like
it's
get
really
underneath
about.
it and like hit it from underneath.
Right.
So
I'm like
kind of moves her.
I mean, she'll do it for a little while, maybe 10 minutes or so. And then she's like over it. Alana literally like 33 minutes the other day.
Yeah. That's why I'm telling you got to get her retested in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Because I don't.
And I mean, potentially she outgrows it because, you know,
right. And she might.
And whatever. And, but I was like shocked when the lady was like, oh yeah, we could try meds down the road. I'm like, we aren't even coming back here. So no, the fuck we can't.
They did the same exact thing with exactly the same. And I was like, okay, we got to go. I was like, no, thank you. And you know, nobody ever knew I was anything, so it never mattered. But I remember one time in college, right at the end of my master's program, we had to do this huge, like, end of the year, like, end of the 2-year project that you had to present to, like, a panel of your teachers.
Like a capstone.
Yep. And, you know, so me and my friend at the time, we were like fucking night and day, this fucking thing. And we were up for like 48 hours. And her boyfriend at the time had Ritalin. And she gave me one. And I was like, man, this is like the most productive I've ever been. But I also felt like dog shit for like days after. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck that was. But I was
Do you think you felt like dog shit for days after because you didn't sleep for 48 hours?
Probably. Yeah. Because I could not. I mean, because I'm already wound fucking tight. And then they were like, here's some meth. And I was like, I got all the things done. And it definitely did like help me to like focus on like one thing at a time, because I definitely ping pong on my ideas, but I get everything done. Like I will multitask like nobody's fucking business, and I will do it effectively. But that honed me in, but I didn't sleep for days and I felt like dog shit after. So I was like, that's too much. And I never fucked with it again.
I've never taken Ritalin.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
I did try something called modafinil or armodafinil. And yeah, it made me feel like I was like redlining it. Like I felt like fucking like I was in a race car.
Yeah.
was bizarre to me.
It's like I can't take Sudafed, like the Sudafed you have to get from the pharmacist that they use to make meth. I cannot take that shit. I will grind the shit out of my teeth.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I would be the worst meth addict. I'd be a really bad drug addict 'cause I'm also allergic to like opiates and all the things. So I would suck as a drug addict in my next life. But
I don't think you could.
yeah, I can't even take the Sudafed. But, you know, it definitely, it's just one of those things where it's like, I just wish that people would take time to recognize like how much is, you know, your belly. You know, it's like, it's just, if you can look at all the things and just really pick that apart, but we don't. And it sucks.
Yeah, we're just like really not educated like that. And then I was meeting with a client yesterday who lives in a different country. And she came in and she's like, yeah, when I eat the food here, I feel sick. Like when I eat the bread here or, you know, I drink the milk here. And I'm like, yeah, because everything's fucking pasteurized and processed. And they spray folic acid on everything. And then they try to sell it like that is
good for you.
Good for you. Yeah. And it actually blocks your receptors from being able to like uptake micronutrients.
And aren't there some people that like have like a
MTHFR?
Yeah. And it like
mutation
totally fucks up when you get folic acid. It like makes things like so much worse.
Makes you sick.
Because what's his name? The guy that does the perfect aminos. He's always talking about that shit.
Gary Brecka.
Yeah, he's always talking about it. That's the first time I'd heard it. And then you said it. And I was like, oh shit, I've heard this before. Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah. I was like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild what we do to our food here.
Yeah, well, when we went, we took my mom.
Fucking no reason.
No, we took my mom to Italy for her 60th birthday. We did a cruise, and I ate all the pasta and all the things perfectly fucking fine. And I got back here, and I ate like one flick of bread, and it's like poof. And I'm like, God, mother of all things. But you know, and it's funny because I just saw this video yesterday, maybe, or this morning. And he was saying, he's like, McDonald's sells like 6.5 million hamburgers a day. Like if you count all the McDonald's, right? He's like, where the fuck are there enough cows for 6.5 million hamburgers a day? And I was like, oh, that's so gross. He's like, I'm not saying that it's not meat. I'm just asking, where are all the cows? And I was like, oh, that's real gross. Because I mean, I don't eat McDonald's hamburgers, but I was like, well, that's real sad. Because he's right. There is not. So it's like, where the fuck is it all coming from?
Yeah, there's kittens in there.
Yeah, there's fucking babies. There's all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the souls of children are in there. Yeah, so I was like, oh, that's so gross. But yeah, that's why when people say, when they go, you know, like overseas or they're like in Europe, they're like, oh my God, it tastes so much better. And it's like, you know, there's a reason. And you're right. There is a reason they do it. Again, it's if you keep people sick and stupid and fat, unfortunately, they're very easy to herd. Yeah. Wherever the fuck you need them to. It's the same reason with the school system, the way it is for kids, right? You make sheep. It's very easy to make them, you know, movable from being, you know, because you think about like when you're in kindergarten, everything's bright and beautiful and all the colors. And then the minute you get like in primary school, they're like, no colors for you. Fuck off. Which is gross. So, yeah. Good times. Really love it. See, I gave you something positive.
What did you call it? Ho'oponopono or whatever?
Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono. Okay.
Or ponopono?
Ponopono.
Ponopono.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ho'oponopono.
See? Just try it. That's all I'm asking. Just like pick somebody. You don't have to pick somebody like that like irritates you to the end of time. Maybe start small. Just like somebody like bad driving. You know? Like you're just like, I love you. Thank you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that I'm different than you. Like people piss me off, and then the next day I'm like,
yeah, I know. I've like written down their whole family chart.
No, I know you have. Yeah, and I'm like,
yeah, I know. Well, I'm a Scorpio. That's what we do. We hang on to that shit, and then we fucking light it on fire.
Yeah, even there's like 3 people right now that I'm like, I wish I could bury you. But like there's lots of other people that have fucked me over and like really hurt me and all that, and I'm like,
well, I carry that for you. I'll kill them for you.
Yeah.
I'll hate them for you. Don't worry.
Why you don't have a colon.
Yeah, exactly.
You have nowhere to carry it.
It's fine. That's fine. I'll just pick another spot.
Great. Yes.
Maybe that's why my back hurts.
Yeah.
Just chucking it back there.
That is why your back
Yeah,
hurts. It's your
exactly.
lower back, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Your hips are all fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're the worst. Well, and I'm all double jointed too. So that doesn't, it's a real mess. I'm platypusing all over the place.
Did you know that double jointed or like hyper flexibility, that kind of stuff, is also highly correlated with autism?
What? Oh, man. Yeah. I have it in my ankles, my knees, my elbows, my hips, and my thumbs.
Yeah, it makes you guys more clumsy.
Yeah. I've broken like every bone in this body.
So is Mike.
Yeah. Worse. I walk into shit all the time and I'm like, oh, that wall's been there this whole time. And I will run into it I'm always like bruised. Yeah. That's funny. I think it was a raw deal on some shit here.
Yeah.
God. You know what's interesting? I was just looking at, they were showing like, what do you call it? Like your neurons in your brain and like how many branches people with autism have versus people who don't. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Like we have so many more. And I'm like, oh, that's why everything irritates me
Well, yeah, your brain's on fire.
all the time. Yeah. And it's like, do. But it makes more sense too when you look at people who are like severely autistic and you're like, man, that's fucking rough, you know? Because it's like they're feeling everything and hearing everything. And it's just, I cannot even imagine what that's like. That would be fucking too much.
So you're already irritable as it is.
Oh my God, I would be the worst. Worst. Okay, so your homework is to practice your ho'oponopono.
We'll have to like learn about it first. To like read it at least or like something. You're not a very good salesman.
I'm the best.
Uh,
Worst. I probably thought you're going to read the book and you'd be like, that isn't at all what she said.
yeah, I'm like, those aren't even the words.
It is, I swear. You're going to go to the training and you're going to fucking love it. And you're going to ho'oponopono everybody you know. And then you're going to be all light and fucking, oh, best life ever. You're welcome.
I'm kind of like that. And you're like, you're too nice. You're naive. You don't.
You're a horrible people reader is
Wow.
what it is.
Wow,
You're the
wow.
worst.
I'm a great people reader.
You're really not, actually. The amount of times you've been wrong, you're like my mom. She's like, that person's nice.
I'm not as bad as your mom.
No, she is the worst. She is 100% because she thinks everybody's nice. I'm like, Mom, that's Dahmer. She's like, no, he's super nice. He just has some dad issues. I'm like, yeah, and some eating people issues. Like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, his diet's
Yeah,
not
but you're
great.
pretty close because you'll pick somebody and I'm like, no. Terrible idea.
No.
No. All right. You ready for your fact of the day?
I have a fact too.
Oh, give me yours first.
No, it's not very it's not very good. But I did learn it last night from my tizzy husband, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna take that in.
Nice.
I'm gonna take that into the pod." So I don't really know the details, so I'm gonna butcher it.
Sales are really
This
strong
isn't
today.
sales, this is education, and I educate like a motherfucker. But I was like, I don't even have the energy to like look into this. I just was like, oh, that's an interesting reptile fact.
Oh, mine's gonna be a reptile too.
Oh, is it what kind of reptile?
Frogs.
Okay, mine's a turtle.
Oh, I love turtles.
Turtle. Did you know that
Probably.
there's you probably did do this. And also my husband like described it like this with like the jellyfish.
Oh, this is turtle in sign language.
But this is a jellyfish.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a turtle.
No, it's a jellyfish. And he's basically, I guess that there's some type of jellyfish that's like really, really venomous or killy,
Yeah.
poisonous.
What is that called?
And sea turtles seek them out to eat them.
Yeah, they get high as fuck.
Yeah.
That's why if you watch Finding Nemo,
He's like,
hey, give me
from-
some fin. Yeah, because they like rub up on them and let them stickity.
No, they eat them.
Or they'll eat them. Either way, they'll let them either like zap them or they'll eat them and they get high as fucking balls. And that's why in Nemo, Crush is like, dude, give me some noggin because he's high as fuck.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they eat
jellyfish.
they eat jellyfish. And I was like, I'm taking that into the pod.
Yeah. Something of War is the name of those jellyfish.
Yeah.
God of War.
Yes, I
God
think
of War.
so.
Yeah, those are like the really ones. Like the ones in Australia that will fuck you. You're just dead. Like you can't even get out of the water. You're just done. Yeah, they love it. They get high as fuck. Yeah.
They eat them. That's crazy. They seek them out to eat
Yeah,
them.
they get excited. They're like, fuck yes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like their little doobies.
All right. Well, that was mine.
That was a good one. I like that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't bring them to the table, so I brought
Yeah,
one. I
know,
was like,
it
I'm gonna bring
nice.
it.
I know. I liked it. It was a good one. I love sea turtles too. Yeah, sea turtles. Turtles are one of my favorites, but sea turtles are so cute. They're so fun. And in Hawaii, if you try to touch them, they'll fuck your shit up 7 ways from Sunday. And they have like people who are like they call turtles in Hawaii honus, honu, HONU, and they have honu watchers who sit on the beach, and literally that is their fucking job is to watch and make sure if you're in the water, if you start fucking with the turtles, because people try to ride them or like pick them up, even though they're huge, they'll get out there and they'll fucking whistle at you like, I'm gonna murder you. And people that are from there are like looking at you like, I'll kill you. And then when they come out of the water to like lay down, they put a rope around them so that nobody can get near them, and they fucking watch them like crazy. And that's like they're like retired old people. That's their job, is to watch the honus. And they take that job very seriously. Yeah. I was like, I'm not touching anything.
So I got an extra fact today.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I add a little extra.
Because that's not the frog fact.
No, it's not, but I'll give you the frog one.
Okay.
Back in the day, to keep milk from going bad, they used to put frogs in the milk.
Ew.
I know. Because it's mostly, when I looked at it or looked it up, because I had seen it on, my husband sent it to me. So mine kind of came from my husband too. But I looked it up. It was more like in Russia and like Finland, they would put the frogs in there because frogs have like a coating basically that like comes out of their skin and like helps to keep them from like letting bacteria into them, which is why like if you ever look at like scientists, that's how they tell like water when it's really bad or something's wrong. Like frogs are like the canary in the cave, because they like tell you like, I have an extra leg, or the frogs are all dying. That means there's something toxic going on, because they have like this like skin thing that they like permeate off of them, and they would put them in the milk because it would keep the milk from going bad. Yeah. Just keeping a frog in your milk. Yeah. Can you imagine? You're all...
No.
Yeah.
I'd
Frog
be
in the
like,
throat.
I'm dairy free.
That's probably where frog in the throat came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Nope, I would be dairy free.
Yeah, I know.
That's for fucking
gross.
sure.
Yeah.
Frogs freak me the fuck out, dude.
Really? Oh, I think they're so cool.
I'd never like really seen like a frog up close until I moved to Florida, and they're fucking everywhere, and they're like just like on your car when you come out, and they're just like chilling, and I'm like, oh fuck no.
Yeah, and they're huge.
They launch at you, and there's all nope. No, I can't do them. I hate them so bad.
That's so funny. That's hilarious. It's so funny. The other day we were at the grocery store, and this guy had come in with a snake as like his pet. And I was like, oh, can I see your snake? And he like handed her to me, and I just like held her, I'm just like holding it. And like everybody was like, what the fuck? And Angela was like, I was 100% sure you were going to flip the fuck out. And I was like, no, that doesn't bother me. Bugs, now I'm out. Bugs, I'm like, not your girl. But snakes,
like frogs
I was like,
are
I'll
close
hold
to
your
bugs.
snake.
Nope.
Yeah, but not that guy's. Definitely not. Only my husband's. But yeah, so now we have lots of facts for everybody.
Okay, well, this was good.
This was good times. Napono. And then when you go to the class with me, you're going to fucking love it. And we're going to tell everybody how much you love it. Yeah. Suck it.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Here's your goodbye song. Do, 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 do.
Bink. We're done.